You know that throbbing pain in your head? Yeah, we've all been there. But what if the answer isn't just about popping a pill to kill the pain? What if that pain is actually trying to tell you something important? Well, today, we're going to explore the Ayurvedic way of looking at headaches, and we'll be guided by the incredible 30 years of experience of Dr. Ashok Ayodhawasi. Let's dive in.
Right. That throbbing, nagging pain. Your first instinct is just to make it go away fast. But Ayurveda asks a totally different question. It's not how to stop the pain, but why is it even happening in the first place? And you know what? That one little shift in focus, it changes everything. It moves us from just managing a symptom to finding a real, lasting solution. So here's the game plan. First, we'll talk about why a headache is really just a messenger. Then, we'll figure out how to tell if it's a true migraine. After that, we'll look at some simple home remedies for quick relief before we get into a really special targeted solution. And we'll wrap it all up by understanding the spirit of service that's at the heart of this ancient practice. All right, let's jump right into the core idea. In Ayurveda, a headache isn't the actual problem. Think of it more like your body's alarm system going off. It's a signal, a messenger, telling you that something else, somewhere else, is out of whack.
And this is such a huge shift in thinking, isn't it? Instead of just grabbing a painkiller to silence that alarm, the goal here is to actually listen to it. It's all about playing detective and finding the root cause. This makes your approach to health proactive, not just reactive.
So, what could that alarm be pointing to? Well, it could be a whole bunch of things. Dr. Ashok explains that an Ayurvedic practitioner basically becomes a detective first. They're going to ask things like, are you anemic? Have you been sleeping well? Could you have sinus congestion that's limiting your oxygen? Or maybe it's just eye strain. The treatment you see completely depends on the answers to those questions.
Okay, so this brings us to a really critical question. So many of us with chronic headaches just say, oh, I have migraines. But is it really a migraine? Ayurveda has a very specific and pretty clever way of figuring that out.
So the whole difference really boils down to a pattern. A general headache, it can pop up anywhere in your head at any time of day. But a true migraine, from this perspective, has two dead giveaways. The pain is always on one half of the head, and it follows a very predictable daily schedule.
And this timeline just lays it out perfectly. I mean, think about it for a second. If your headache always starts in the morning, gets super intense in the afternoon, just like the sun, and then fades away by evening, well, that's a massive clue. According to Ayurveda, it's that precise solar cycle that points to a classic migraine.
Okay, but let's be real. Whether it's a migraine or just a regular headache, when your head is pounding, you need relief now. So let's look at a few simple home remedies that can give you some immediate comfort while you're trying to figure out that deeper root cause.
First up is something you probably already have in your kitchen. It's super simple. You just take some coriander seeds, soak them, and then grind them into a paste. The idea is that when you apply this to your forehead, it has a really nice cooling, anti-inflammatory effect that can help ease the pain in just about 10 or 15 minutes. All right, here's another traditional remedy, pure cow's ghee. Now, it might sound a little strange, but putting just 2 drops in each nostril before you go to sleep is a practice called nasya. It's believed to help calm down your nervous system and lubricate your nasal passages, which can reduce the kind of tension and dryness that often triggers headache. Now, for something a bit more potent you can take, there's this powder recipe. You just combine equal parts of almonds, large fennel seeds, and rock sugar, and then add a little bit of black pepper for a kick. Grind it all up into a powder and take 1 spoonful with some milk in the morning and evening. This combination is said to be really effective for lots of different kinds of headaches.
But, and this is so important, we have to remember what these remedies are for. They're kind of like watering the leaves of a sick plant. They provide some nice temporary relief for sure, but they are not a permanent cure. They're for the symptom. The real goal is always to get to the roots and fix the underlying problem for good.
So what do you do if you have one of those confirmed classic sun cycle migraines? Well, this is where we move away from general remedies and into a very specific, targeted Ayurvedic solution that Dr. Ashok has been perfecting for decades.
It's a formula known as the nasal drop, and the logic behind it is pretty fascinating. The idea is that many migraines are caused by mucus blockages that mess with the proper flow of oxygen to the brain. So this preparation is designed to do one thing and one thing only: clear those blockages and do it fast.
Ek खुराक में ठीक हो जाएगा. That translates to, it will be cured in a single dose. Wow, that is a seriously powerful claim.
Dr. Ashok says that for someone who is in the middle of a full-blown migraine attack, one dose can bring relief by physically clearing out that blockage, which instantly removes the source of the pain. And how you use it is very specific. You lie down, breathe all the air out of your lungs, and then you quickly apply the drops while you inhale sharply. And that sharp inhale is the key. It pulls the formula deep into your nasal passages. Within a minute or two, it's designed to trigger the release of all that built-up mucus, clearing the pathway and relieving that intense pressure and pain.
And you know, the benefits don't stop with migraines. Because it's fundamentally about cleansing your respiratory tract, it can also help with general headaches, sinus issues, or even just clearing out everyday pollutants. For that kind of general maintenance, the recommendation is to use it about once a month.
Finally, let's talk about the why behind all of this. Because this isn't just about selling a product. There's a much deeper mission here, and it's really rooted in the core principles of Ayurveda itself.
First off, it's really important to note that this isn't some brand new, untested remedy. Nope. This is the result of over 30 years of clinical practice. Dr. Ashok has been using and fine-tuning this exact formula with thousands of patients since all the way back in 1994. That's a long history of real-world results.
And this quote, it really gets to the heart of it all. The driving force isn't just business, it's seva, which is a Sanskrit word that means selfless service. The goal is so simple and pure, to help people who have been suffering, sometimes for years, and to share this tool with other doctors and practitioners so that they can do the same.
And all of this leaves us with one last powerful question to think about for ourselves. The next time you feel a headache coming on, just ask, am I just trying to silence the alarm, or am I going to actually look for the fire? It's a question that really encourages us to become detectives of our own health, searching not just for temporary relief, but for true, lasting wellness. Definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.